Hi everybody. I'm just hanging out at home with my daughter here, and I just thought, well, I could prepare something for dinner today. My son and my daughter, they like the chicken curry, and I have a few ingredients that I have in the house that I'm going to use to make the chicken curry. But a few things that I'm missing, I'll let you know. If you don't have the things, that doesn't stop the food from being eaten. But if you have them, it adds more oomph to the curry. So I'm gonna clean first of all the chicken with a little bit of vinegar. So I have the chicken here, and I have olive oil, cooking oil, regular vegetable oil, the vinegar to clean the chicken. This is some pepper and salt. I'm gonna add some chickpeas and just a little bit of ketchup to the chicken when I'm cooking. I have cayenne pepper, turmeric, red peppers, and this is curry. And I have ground cumin, some onion, garlic, ginger, and a potato. Okay, so I'm gonna prepare the vegetables. I have garlic that I just dipped in hot water. Dipping it in hot water makes it easy to get the skin off. Comes off real easy. And you can use whatever method works for you. This works for me really, really well. And as much garlic or as little garlic. I like quite a bit of garlic. I like my garlic chopped finely. You can leave it as big chunks like I have right now, or you can continue to chop it down and have finer pieces. So I do the same with the ginger. I like it finely chopped, and I just did that. So I have my ginger here, my garlic also finely chopped, and I have my onion that I put on the side because it's making meat here. And then I also have one potato, which I will also dice. Today I don't have peppers. I like to add pepper, green pepper, red pepper, any pepper that you might have, yellow, whatever. You can add it to the curry. And don't have some today, but we got to eat. You can't stop a meal because some ingredients are missing. Be nice to have them, but we're gonna make do. And I'm doing this so that my son, happy, will be able to cook for himself. You can't starve when you have something in the house, so this is good enough. What we have, it will work. So there is my diced potato, chopped garlic and ginger. This is the chicken, and I rinsed off the vinegar and patted dry the chicken. Then I add all the veggies that I have. Okay, so in the bowl, I am going to add all the vegetables that I have. I also have a can of chickpeas, so I'll add that. I'll put about 2/3 of the onion. I'll leave it there. And I'll just drizzle some olive oil in there. And then make sure all this is nicely covered. So if you have time, you can have all this done, all set up, so the chicken can marinate in all these nice flavors. You can leave it on the side and let it marinate for a while. So I'll put a little bit of olive oil and a little bit of vegetable oil in a pan. The whole base of the pan should be covered in oil. How much is that? Maybe 2 tablespoons each. All right, because we'll need the vegetable oil and the olive oil to fry the curry. I've always done what is called I measure. That's much olive oil in the vegetable oil I have. I'm gonna add a little bit more because I do need to fry the curry in the oil. I'm going to have this on the stove. Now I have my curry already measured. I will scoop a big tablespoon of the curry paste. I like it. Some people don't like it to use in their curries, but I like it. And I will fry that in the oil. The oil should be hot. I don't know how many degrees, but you shouldn't let your oil burn. You shouldn't be seeing smoke in your oil there. It's also, I couldn't tell you in terms of degrees, but I know when my oil is hot. Please don't ask me about how many degrees Celsius or Fahrenheit the oil is. The oil has to be hot, but not where you see smoke coming out of it. So once your oil is hot enough, we are going to fry the curry. And this is a critical part of doing a curry. So this is the oil in the curry, and I fry those curries, and I'm gonna add my paste in there. Also add a bit of onion there. I'm gonna add the chicken. Make sure the chicken is all covered in curry. So here's how it looks. The smells are just delicious. And at this point, we're just gonna leave it to cook. I'm gonna add the tomato paste as well. Maybe a tablespoon. Add it in there. And then we'll just leave this to cook. So we're gonna cover the chicken, and then we'll check on it in a few minutes to see how it's going. But right now it smells delicious, and we'll check on this later. Now, I'm going to be cooking kale. You can do the same with collard greens or spinach, but I like cooking kale a lot. And for all of you Zimbos out there, and especially for my kids, I want you to be able to cut the veggies the Zimbo way. I'm gonna show you how I cut my kale. Cut the stem off. You can keep as much of the stem as you want, but I like the leafy part of it. And then you chop finely. For me, I've always liked my collards or kale chopped real small. If you want big chunky pieces, there's nothing wrong with that. But if you're doing it for the Zimbos, by Zimbos I mean Zimbabweans. They like their kale cut real small. And I will show you in a minute once I finish cutting. So basically, this is it. And then we will fry it lightly in oil and add a little bit of salt, and that's it. Okay, so here's the kale all chopped up and ready to fry. A little bit of oil in a pan, and fry a couple of minutes. Not too much. I like mine a little bit crispy as well. Okay, so we want to have a look at how our chicken curry is doing, and then give it a little swish around so it doesn't stick on the bottom. Ooh, that looks lovely. Turn it around. Sauce is nice and thick. And that's it for the curry. So we're just waiting for it to be ready. And dinner will be served. I served it with sadza, chicken curry, kale, and sadza. Gonna quickly fry the veggies. That's pretty much how I do my greens. So we're gonna prepare sadza. Zimbabweans eat cornmeal made into a paste, and we call it sadza. I typically would use white cornmeal, but I don't have, and I just found this in the store, and that's what we're gonna use. Yellow cornmeal. It's still cornmeal, and that's what we're gonna use. Typical Zimbabwean pot for sadza. So kids, not one of you should not be able to cook sadza because you all have a pot. Yeah, all my trips to Zimbabwe, I made sure each one of you has a pot for sadza. So we're gonna cook this sadza now, and this is called a mugoti, the wooden spoon. This is the Zimbabwean. In fact, most African countries use this wooden spoon. In Zimbabwe, in the Shona. The Shona name for it is mugoti, and this is what I will be using to cook the sadza. Okay, so the first thing that you do is to make a paste of the cornmeal with water. For those of you who love to measure, for my kids, if you think there's the scientific way of doing it with measurements, I used 1 cup of cornmeal with enough water. Just went on the tap and put enough water to make this kind of paste. And that's the base for the sadza. And I'm waiting for my water to boil. I can hear the whistle of my water. It's boiling, so come along with me and see. So I add the water to the paste, and I stir. Usually we cook the sadza on high heat, so you make a thick paste. Come on closer and have a look. If it's too thick, you just keep adding water so it's thick enough to be able to boil. You have to have your sadza boil before you thicken it, and this takes about 10 minutes to boil, and in Shona we call it kukwata. Now, this is what we call kukwata when the sadza starts to boil. I'm gonna just reduce the heat so I don't get burnt here, and we leave it to boil for about 10 minutes. Oh, this smells delicious, heavenly. Curry is ready. The kale is ready. And now, final part of the sadza preparation. Now we're gonna have the sadza thickened. I have already a cup of cornmeal that I'll add gradually. I just had it in the cup, but my kids know I do what is called I measure. I measure by eye, so it might end up being a cup, maybe 2 cupfuls, but you just want your sadza to be a thick paste, a little bit thicker than mashed potatoes, and you just get it to thicken by adding the cornmeal, and you keep stirring it in, folding it in. And what I'm doing is to crush the small pebbles of cornmeal that might happen in there. We call it mapundu. And Murora Wechivan, daughter-in-law of the Zimbos. If you have your sadza with mapundu, there'll be a lot of whispering and talking behind your back. I leave it soft in consistency, and then as the sadza settles, it thickens a little bit. So basically, this is how you cook the sadza. Ukubonda in Sindebele, that's what I'm doing. kumona sadza. And then once you are done monaring the sadza, you leave it to simmer very low heat for a couple of minutes. No specific time, but you know, within 3 to 5 minutes, it will have simmered enough, and then it will be ready to serve. Dinner is served. Sadza muriwo and curry chicken. Bon appetit. All right, kids, when you eat sadza, you are going to be using your hands. Make a nice little round bowl. Dip it in the nyama, chicken meat, and the muriwo. Delicious. You can make your musua as big as you want or as small as you want, but you gotta be able to make a little round. This one is not working out very well, but make a little round, dip in the meat or sauce, get the muriwo, and